Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime Symbol, and I'm back with part 5 of What If Naruto was Itachi's older brother. Remember to get this one too. 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels if you're new. Yes, that's right, I indeed have 3 more channels, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. Anime King 2, and Anime King 3 guys. All the links will be down in the description, so go ahead and obliterate that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. So without further ado or wasting any more time, how about we jump right into this brand new episode? Let us begin now, guys. So the last part that we left off, Naruto woke up from a rather horrendous dream. A dream where he slaughtered everyone that he ever cared about. As he stood within their blood and death, he awoke in rather frantically. Since the whole debacle, Naruto has been having dreams that were driving him mad, time and time again. He's been trying his best to block certain thoughts out of his mind, not understanding where his subconscious was getting these things from. He knew that he's done a lot of horrible things to a lot of people, but his mind was continuously plagued by dreams. And he was trying to find a way to stop these, but they just kept on coming. The village had truly developed since, as Fukaku was a promising Hokage. There were some that were against the idea, but it was already solidified, so there wasn't much that they could do about it. As for Itachi, his father was very upset about his action. However, given that he was his son, he proceeded to keep the information about what he did a secret. The clan would want him to be publicly executed for what he had done. However, that was not something that was going to happen. Yes, it was not going to. He was trying his hardest to win back favors from his family, mostly his older brother and his father as well. However, he could do that because he had time. The Uchihas weren't going to be wiped out. The village was not on the verge of war, so yes, he was rather content with everything. We later find Naruto embarking on a mission, where once again he had to stain his hands in blood, exterminating the entire family of nobles. However, he blacked out when Naruto came to. The person that left that note that they knew what he did left another. They had freed the family and told him that it was up to him to find and stop them. Luckily, much time had not passed as Naruto took them out. However, the person arrived. As Naruto thought that his mind was playing tricks against him, but he was wrong. It was a physical being that stood in front of him. They fought. However, the person ended up vanishing away. They blinked around him, trying to mess with his mind. As their notes was left behind, they did not speak to him. As Naruto returned back to the village, he understood what the person was trying to do, and he understood that he was the only one. So he did not tell anyone else about this. However, Naruto's eyes started to fade. His constant use of the Mangekyo. His father was able to bring in a sergeant to make sure Naruto got the top of the line. There was a reason why his mother was so feared, and now he would be gifting her eyes to him, allowing Naruto to bypass the weakness of awakening the Mangekyo Sharingan. He would never lose his sight. As Naruto's eyes were bandaged, he could not take them off. He needed to rest. He found himself face to face with that being once again. Somehow they were able to bypass every single security and enter into his home. The mere fact that they were able to pull something like this off was truly crazy. However, it just shows what kind of person they truly were. They were not any kind of individual. They were indeed very, very special. However, he told Naruto that it was not his desire to kill him, just his desire to make him see what he's done, and then he would kill him. He told Naruto that he would never know who he was because he slaughtered so many people in the past. He can never truly know. Years passed by since that event. Itachi was worried. He even spoke to his father, as Naruto has been acting strangely. However, the event of strangeness started to calm down, due to Naruto no longer being plagued. For 3 years now, he was not bothered by that person that was continuously popping up, messing with his missions. Naruto believed that the person was dead, or perhaps this was just a part of their game, but he could not allow himself to fall for this. Allowing himself to be weak would allow him to lose, and he would not lose. He went to his father with an idea about recreating another group of Sannin, a more powerful one, as he selected the members out of the academy. The Jinchuriki would be a part of the group. Perhaps it was on that day that Naruto saw Minato Namikaze easily risk his life for the village without hesitation. Perhaps that was what made him wanted to train the girl. Unknowingly, Sasuke also liked her because out of everyone else in the class, she was the only one that did not fuss over him. And the last one, well, that was pretty secretive. However, Fukaku granted this request, as he wanted to be the greatest Hokage that he could after all. So yeah guys, basically that's what I thought you guys can switch across the PlayStation for yourself. So we jump right into this brand new episode. Let's begin now guys. Out of all the other students, they were the only ones that were told to go to a very specific location. It was Sasuke Uchiha, Mito Uzumaki, and Sakura Haruno. Haruka had told them where to go, and now they were here. They found themselves in front of a massive chain-link fence. None of them had ever been here, or even come remotely close to this location before, as they found themselves waiting there. These three were not exactly friends, each of them having their own inner thoughts. Well, for one, Sakura had the hugest crush on Sasuke. However, the one that Sasuke had eyes for was Mito Uzumaki. Ironically, she was the only one that never truly fussed over him or never truly paid him any attention, as she didn't see what was so special about him. He had no idea at the moment why he liked her, because his feelings were deeply secretive. Mito was simply focusing on what exactly they had to do, her gaze looking around until someone appeared out of nowhere. The three of them saw him. Two weren't so familiar, but Sasuke was surprised. "Big brother," he said, as this was not something he expected to see today. Sasuke couldn't believe it. Was his brother going to be their sensei? The Uchiha looked rather delighted to hear that. However, that soon changed. "Do not call me that," said Naruto. "When we're out here, you will refer to me as sensei." Sasuke believed in that. What he was hearing was a slight joke from his older brother. He opened his mouth to make a retort. As the first word left his mouth, Naruto said his name once. Only once, and Sasuke immediately nodded, understanding that his brother was serious. As you can all see, I was selected to be your teacher, said Naruto. Looking at each and every one of them, none of them spoke. However, there is still a chance that you all will be sent back to the academy. All of them were shocked to hear that. What do you mean, Sensei? Sakura said, looking rather intimidated by this presence that this man was giving off. All questions will be answered soon enough. However, today, you will embark on your first mission. Sweet. Mito thought to herself, ready. Your job is to enter this location and bring back 2 flags. They're planted inside. They each possess a symbol of the headband that you're wearing. You have 5 days to retrieve them and bring them back to me. 5 days? Why so long? It won't take us long to get 2 flags, Mito said confidently. As Naruto looked towards her, I hope you still retain that attitude after entering this forest, he said as he unlinked the lock that was on it, opening the gate. The moment you feel like you can't go on anymore, and you feel like you want to quit, just say the words, I give up. And when you do that, every single one of you will be sent back to the academy. Wait, Mito interjected. If one of us give up, why does the others get sent back as well? Because I said so. Mito was furious to hear that, as that didn't make much sense. If one of them gave, the others would be forcefully sent back. However, there was no rebutting anything that he says. Don't bother, Sasuke said. It is not something that he's going to budge on. Already knowing something like that about his brother. Wait, what about food and things like that? Mito asks. There is a lot of fruit trees inside. There is also fish. And besides, weren't you taught at the academy how to scavenge and make fires and all of that without the access of jutsus? But what about supplies? Sakura said. We didn't pack anything or got anything ready. That's the point. By the way, your timer started the moment you arrived here. What? All 3 of them said, as they start to make their way into the forest. Naruto locked the fence behind them. Alright, said Mito. It seems we're gonna have to work together. Otherwise, we're going to be sent back to the academy. So no one gives up, she said, looking at them. Speak for yourself. I never give up, Sasuke said. Yeah, me either, Sakura said, as she was simply copying her crush. Around 10 minutes later, Team 7 was running for their life, terrified. The first thing they found out was the forest was trying to kill them, starting from man-eating plants, bugs that were viciously trying to sting or bite them, and now they were being chased by a pack of wild wolves. They jumped into a creek as they found themselves taking deep breaths. Sakura had scraped her arm on a tree as she was in pain. This is crazy. I mean, we just became Genins. Is it supposed to be this difficult? She said. Be quiet, Sasuke said to her. They might hear you, he said, looking around. He himself was confident in his strength, but there was simply too much of them, so they ran instead. As Mito got to her feet, we have 5 days, she said, looking at them. We can't afford to be wasting much time, and I haven't seen even one of the flags just yet. But I have an idea, she said as she brought her hand together. Shadow Clone Jutsu. The next moment, 10 clones appear. They look towards their surprise. As Sakura wait. She poked one of the clones. They're real. Mito smirked hearing that. The one that was always watching over her. He left it behind for her. A early graduation present, she supposed. She mastered it in one day. The Shadow Clone Jutsu. Already figuring out why she wasn't able to truly utilize the normal clone jutsu because of this person. It was because she possessed simply too much chakra. With that, she sent them out to scout. As she was receiving the information back, she had read it when she read about the jutsu. 3 of them got this spell, but 3 of them make it towards a section of the forest. But they were ripped apart. And the others were able to see one of the targets. It was in the den of pure spiders. And these weren't normal spiders. They were large and ferocious. You're kidding, right? Said Sakura, after being told exactly where it was. However, she was not. Okay, how exactly are we going to get that? I mean, we could fight them off, Mito said. Yeah, let's do that. Sakura said. Really? No. Let's get the stupid ideas out of the way first. Hey, Mito said to her. Look, even with your clones, Sasuke spoke up, which dispel after one simple hit. We're outnumbered here. As he looked down towards the goddamn colony, and their target was right in the center on one of the slopes. I have an idea, Sasuke said. As he looked towards the two, his gaze mostly focused on Mito. You're not the only one with special quirks around here, he said. With that, he put his plan into action after speaking to them. A massive fireball was launched, hitting a section of the area where the colony resides, followed by 5 of Mito clones jumping down and starting to fight. The next moment, both Sakura and Mito held the rope as Sasuke lowered himself down. Come on, more, he said, as they start to release more and more. He finally grabbed it, only for the rope that they were using. It started to break. They had found it in here discarded. They did not test the strength, and now Sasuke was about to fall right after getting the objective done. They were screwed. A plan quickly formulated in Mito's mind as she handed the other piece to Sakura. With that, she created more clones. They jumped onto each other's shoulder and threw themselves outwards, creating a makeshift bridge. Go now, Mito shouted, alerting the spiders, but Sasuke was already surrounded. Sasuke relinquished himself from the rope and landed on one of the clones' back. He started to run. As he stepped on them, running up, the spiders were coming after him. As he reached the last one, he jumped away, blurring through hand sign as he did, as he relinquished a massive fireball, knocking them away. With that, Team 7 fled into the forest as quickly as they could. Sakura had caught the flag the moment Sasuke released it, so they were safe. They ran away as fast as possible as they found themselves catching their breath a far distance away. I think we're safe. Night came, and the forest got a whole lot scarier. However, they were able to sit down and actually talk to one another. They were going to be a team after all, because none of them planned on failing this. Until a massive centipede attacked their camp, ripping everything apart. Sakura was hit by the thing as she slammed right into a boulder. It knocked her out. However, both Sasuke and Mito jump as they land on the thing, pulling out their weapons. Luckily, They had their pouches on them because he threw them into the heart of this without any preparations. Mito was the first one to bring her kunai down. No hesitation as the thing screeched. Around a minute later it collapsed as he took it down, moving towards Sakura, as she had a rather nasty bump on her head. Searching her things, they found that she had a medical kit. It seems like luck was on their side. Believing that whatever they were going to be doing, Sakura knew that there was some reason they might get hurt. She was always prepared. However, she was never prepared to be thrown into something so dangerous. That is why she tried to ask Sensei for gathering supplies. But she did have a small medical kit on her, as they used it to tend to her wounds. It wasn't anything bad, and after a couple of hours she regained consciousness. After looking around, she released a heavy breath. I thought I was simply having a terrible dream, but I guess I was wrong, she said. For the next 2 days they ventured through the area. They got attacked by various animals. And there was one point that Sakura found herself in tears. Afraid, cold, wet, as rain came down. She wanted to give up. It was so easy to say the words, to give in. However, it was Mito that spoke to her. You want to be a kunoichi, right? Well, this is the easy part. Jokes. Sakura said. No, I'm not joking. I mean, come on, we're not even fighting real ninjas. And you're already out? What's the point of you becoming a kunoichi then? Those words made her reflect on a lot of things. The main reason why she wanted to become a ninja was Sasuke. She saw him when she was much younger. She was there on that day when Mito had punched Sasuke, and when he said that he was going to become a ninja. Her parents were not ninjas. Ninjas did not run in her family at all. So yes, it was never something that she had to do. She could simply become a normal civilian. But those words made her think. She've already reached this far, she had the potential to do this. Giving up would simply make all of them be quitters. Sasuke was quiet. As more and more, his feelings for Mito grew larger. Her determination, her will to not give up, in the face of grave danger, possibly even death. And thus, renewed with this newfound strength, Team 7 venture on their third day within the forest. As they continue, they found the other flag. Unfortunately though, it was in the middle of the wolf den, and there was so much of them. Mito tried to use her clones as a distraction, but the moment the clones pop, they return. The wolves had strong sense of smell, and her clones were not exactly durable. She tried to use numbers to overwhelm them. Unfortunately, they were smart. Smarter than she originally thought. Going into a long drawn-out battle with these animals might be bad. Not to mention, they were running out of time. Fine, she said as she got to her feet. I'll be the bait. What? Are you crazy? They will tear you apart, Sakura said. She's right. There has to be another way. Look, we're running out of time, and if we don't get that, we're all going to fail. So, I'll be the bait. No, Sasuke said. I'll do it. What? I'm faster than you, Sasuke said to her. Besides, they have a rather strong sense of smell, and they won't simply run away for your clones. Because the moment they get popped, they simply return. And if they smell us in there, then they will attack us with all the fury that they can. And we both know that I'm faster than you. The two started to argue, only for Sakura to bump the both of them on the head. Look, we don't have time for you two arguing right now. We're running out of time. Mito ended up conceding. As much as she didn't want to admit it, Sasuke was faster than her and the wolves. They were going by scent. As she had to concede that. She used 3 of her clones first to create a loud enough distraction, as Sasuke then set the front area ablaze. The moment they saw that, they went after him. He took to the trees as they ran underneath him. They were ferocious. These wolves were much larger than your normal wolf. It was the environment that they lived in. They waited until they were all gone, as they snuck inside only to see that 3 had left behind to keep the place protected. The first 2 jump, one going after Mito, the other one going after Sakura. Mito weaved under the jump, only for the third one to jump in her face. However, it got a kick, courtesy of Sakura, who dodged her wolf as well. The both of them ran. Running inside, Mito grabbed the flag. She threw it to Sakura, as she created a bunch of clones that blocked the path. The 3 wolves started to rip through, as they were biting and clawing. The clones tried to fight back, but the wolves were much stronger than your average wolf. Mito climbed upwards, only for Sakura to shout on top of her lungs, "Come get me," she said. They ran out, allowing Mito to escape. She jumped on the top. She jumped upwards. She swung on a vine, reaching her hand out as Sakura held her hand up. As the wolves jumped, Mito grabbed her hand and swung her upwards, the both of them landing on the branch. "We have to go to help Sasuke." They quickly made their way, dashing from tree to tree, trying to move as fast as they possibly can. "Go, you're faster," Sakura said, knowing that Mito was holding back for her sake. Mito nodded and increased her speed. Meanwhile, Sasuke found himself backed against a colossal tree. He turned his gaze, ready to fight. He was low on chakra, constantly using it to increase his speed. All of them were. Mito was low as well. The reason why she could not keep up with the amount of wolves, as she did not possess the necessary amount of chakra at the moment to summon a lot of clones. That is why this plan had to go into play. But even if she had it, the wolves were simply much too durable, and their numbers were much too great as well. Looking down as she saw Sasuke in danger, knowing that she would only get ripped apart as well, she brought her hand together. Refusing to give up, she was shouting at her body. "Come on," she told herself. She dig deep. Unknowingly, she dig into something else. Every single wolf turned as they felt it, as a strange red aura surrounded Mito. The next moment, the entire area was covered in clones. Sasuke was shocked as the clones descended down. It was a bloodbath. Well, not on Mito's side because the clones poofed away. However, she used up that bit of chakra that she was able to pull out, and her own into the mix as she fell, refusing to lose consciousness despite her body feeling so exhausted as she knew that her clones would poof away. Sasuke jumped as he crash landed on the wolf's head. Leaping from one to one, stepping with force, he jumped. He caught her in his arms. He tugged as he rolled down a hillside. They found themselves blanketing down as Sasuke covered her. Dirt, stone and everything falling on top of him. However, he covered her and protected her as the both of them lie there. After a couple of minutes, they were found by Sakura. She jumped down, using whatever medical equipment that she had left, to tend to their wounds. However, they had both. They had both, and it was time to get the hell out of here. However, they heard a monstrous roar when they saw 3 centipedes racing towards them. Each of them exhausted, not possessing the necessary chakra to fight back. The things were coming, seemingly for revenge for the one that they killed. They were massive, towering over them as they raced towards them, digging through the earth. Sakura looked at her teammates, who didn't want to give up despite the danger, but she knew if she didn't do something, they would die. "I give up," she shouted. The next moment, something dropped from the heaven, crash landed in front of them as flames that seemed to be able to burn the heaven itself, followed from this thing. The 3 centipedes were erased, just like that. His eyes, they gazed into that red cryptic eyes looking back at them as they all fell asleep. Sasuke was the first to wake up, followed by Mito seconds after. Sakura third, as they found themselves on fluffy grass. Standing in front of them was Naruto. As they looked up at him, "You all fail," he said. "No, wait. We got them," said Mito. "Yes, but you failed to arrive at the exit point, which means you fail." "No, that's not right. After all we've been through." "Life isn't easy," said Naruto, looking at his brother, who was really angry about this. "I'll send each and every one of you back to the academy." Sakura looked down, blaming herself for this. It was all her fault. I'm sorry guys," she said. This is all my fault. If anyone deserved to be sent back, it should be me." "Come with me," said Naruto. Sakura blinked. He was talking to her. She started to walk. "Wait," Mito said. You can't just send her back. It's not right." "She's right. After everything that we've done," Sasuke said. "Be quiet," said Naruto. Begrudgingly, they stayed so. "What now?" Mito said. "We can't just let Sakura get sent back. She said I gave up, but she did it for us, because we're too stubborn to know when we're bested. Those things would have ripped us apart." Sasuke begrudgingly agreed, despite not wanting to, but he had to. "What now?" Sakura said, away from the group. "You were smart," said Naruto. "You understood that those two would never give up, despite the odds being placed against them, and I assure you they would have died. So you gave up, despite knowing what it would bring you and them. And that's a very smart move. That is why someone will be sent back. And I'm going to give you the option to pick who you want to be sent back." "Me? But why? I don't understand. Why me?" "Because you thought outside the box instead of simply following a path that would lead to your destruction. Now, choose. You have 5 seconds. "What?" Sakura said frantically, as Naruto started to count. As he reached the 4, "Me," she said. "What do you mean by that?" said Naruto. She looked down. "Even after what you said, I was still the one that gave up. I know that I did it to save them, but still. Those two are much more invested in becoming a ninja than me. They are stronger, better in every single way. I guess I'm not that special," she said. "And I can wait a year to become a ninja once again. But those two There's something indeed very special about them. So I think you should just be their sensei. I can wait. As Naruto started to walk, "Come with me," he said. She was confused as he did not say anything. "Stay right here and do not speak. That is an order," he said. Sakura was confused as Naruto made his way towards the others. "Come," he said, talking to Sasuke. As they went to the same spot that Sakura stood before, Sasuke gulped as those eyes gazed down towards him. He wasn't sure what was going on. "You're my brother," said Naruto, "and you know that I want nothing but good things for you." "Huh, you haven't been showing that." "I couldn't show that I was giving you special treatment," said Naruto. "So I had to do something. However, you have the option right now to pick who you don't want to be on a team with." What?" Sasuke said. "You heard me. I mean, think about it. You're the son of the Hokage and the brother of the clan head. There was never a chance you would be sent back to the academy. However, one person has to be sent back for giving up. So who should it be? I mean, Sakura did say I give up. And Mito isn't half bad, so should she be sent back?" Sasuke looked down, his fist clenched. "So you're only saying this to me because I'm your brother? And you don't think that I'm anything special just because of where I come from?" "Don't think of it like that," said Naruto. "However, if you don't choose right now, you will be sent back to the academy. And how do you think he will see such action? How do you think you will prove to him or me or anyone else that you're something special if you don't pass this simple little test? So what will it be? Which one of them?" Sasuke was looking down. "None," he said. He snapped his gaze upwards, and Naruto was greeted by the Sharingan. Flashback. As Mito was falling off the tree, Sasuke was exhausted. He was tired, as the wolves were closing in. Despite the others fighting, there were still some that were closing in. Sasuke felt something, as a part of him was so angry that he would fail, always telling himself that he was much more than his name, much more than his father's son, that he would not be stuck in their light, that he would prove to them and everyone else that he wasn't just the Uchiha boy, he was Sasuke Uchiha. In that moment, that raw emotion inside of him, it sprung something. When Sasuke stepped and crushed on top of the first wolf's head, he saw everything slow. Sasuke jumped from one to another, stepping on them like a pattern before he reached and grabbed Mito, his eyes showing the Sharingan. He wasn't even aware. The next moment, they canceled themselves out. His body was much too tired to operate with them right now. In the flashback, "I won't choose any of them. You're gonna have to send me back," Sasuke said. "Because it doesn't matter what father thinks. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks. I'll continue to strive on, and I'll make a name for myself. So do what you please. I don't care," Sasuke said. "Go over there," said Naruto. Sasuke started to make his way toward the tree, as Naruto motioned for Mito to come. She took a huge gulp. So what now? Who's getting sent back? She said, looking at Naruto. Tell me, what do you know about the Nine Tails attack? The, the Nine Tails attack? You mean the one the fourth Hokage killed? What about it? A being as the Nine Tails cannot be killed. What do you mean? She said, confused. But I thought you were told wrong. You see, the Nine Tail has to be sealed away. Sealed inside of a living human being. Mito started to understand what he was saying, and the implications started to terrify her. As she looked at him, that look on her face, as she thought about how some people look at her like that when she wasn't looking, it started to set in. She looked terrified. You're understanding now, said Naruto. The nine-tailed fox was sealed inside of you when you were a baby. Mito was shocked as she leaned up on the tree for support. No, that can't be, she said. She wasn't a person that cried a lot, but in this moment being hit with such information, the tears started to gather. She was afraid. Until a hand placed on her shoulder, courtesy of Naruto. He knelt down, so they were on the same level as he looked at her. There is a reason I'm telling you this. To make sure that your childhood was never affected or influenced by any outside stimulus. To make sure that you never had this information that will cause you any physical or mental pain by your own hands. It was kept a secret even away from you. Majority of the adults know about this because of a leak that happened in the past, but none of the younger generation know. Some of them are simply going by what they see. Their parents do. Them not focusing that much on you. But you've taken that in many different ways by not fully acting out, but trying to better yourself in different ways. As his words were getting to her, but she didn't seem to be responding one bit. I know it's difficult to hear, but I think the fourth Hokage knew what he was doing. I mean, why else would he seal it inside of you? I believe that he did so because he trusted you. Believing that out of everyone else, that you were the one that could possibly master and wield his power. And from what I can see, there doesn't seem to be a limit on what you can do when you put your mind to it. So don't think of this as a burden, but just another obstacle for you to overcome. And now that you're on the path to becoming a ninja, you have to know the obstacles that are set in your way. So tell me, Mito Uzumaki, are you about to give up and throw in the towel? After all, you never do. Even when there are difficult paths in your way. Even when you struggle to understand or learn. As Naruto was speaking, Mito clinged on to one thing that he said. As she didn't motion or move to show that she heard it, but she clinged on to that. As he looked down towards the girl, his whole speech had brought her another insight that she never truly focused on. But now that she knew it was something that she could overcome, something she could control, something that she will control, she looked up, the determination not wavering. As Naruto looked at the girl, seeing that hope, that look reignite in her eyes, his words were able to make her overcome the traumatic moment that she was just realizing that she was even in. However, what he said next, you're special in more way than one that you now know. There is not a chance that you would be sent back to the academy. Naruto said to her, that is why it is up to you to pick who will be going back. You still fail because someone said I give up. So, I'll give you the choice to pick. Either Sakura or Sasuke. Wait, you would send back your own brother? She said, remember the conversation that she had with Sasuke while they were in the forest. It was something that she never really knew because she never really talked to him that much. It's a matter of principle. So yes, I'll give you back the choice. Pick, Naruto said, looking at her. She thought about all they've been through. No, she said to him. You either send me back or fail us all. I suppose that we can all wait a year to graduate once again. After all we've been through, I won't betray either of them, so go ahead. Send me back if you will. She said, looking at him, waiting for some sort of response. And for the first time she saw him smile. He turned his gaze. You two, he said. Come over here. As they all made their way. Now, you spend the last couple of days fighting for your life. Fighting alongside each other. You were thrown into an environment without being prepared, and yet you were able to put your mind to good use and the supplies that you have to make them work for you. Most of the times, things goes bad on missions, especially stressful, high-tier missions. And you have to work out a compromise for things that you never expect. And thus, in an environment that you weren't used to, with limited supplies, you were able to overcome all of the treacherous part of this forest. And for that, I congratulate you all. They felt proud when they heard that. However, one of you still gave up. Hearing that, Sakura looked down. That is why I spoke to each of you one-on-one. I gave each of you the opportunity to vote someone else out. As Naruto paused, every single one of them thinking. However, strangely enough, they knew that none of them ratted each other out. Unfortunately, one of you was voted out by another. They looked at each other until their gaze turned back towards him. You're lying, Mito said. I am. Yes, you are, Sasuke said. None of us spoke. None of us will turn against each other, especially not now. She's right, Sakura said. We wouldn't do that to one another. Because we're a team, like it or not. As Naruto looked at them. And that is what all of you believe. Because I could simply send you all back now. Because one of you spoke. Yes, that is what we believe. And does she speak for you all? They both nodded without hesitation. Good, said Naruto. You all pass. Both girls were overjoyed. Sasuke, trying to act as cool as always, folded his arms and gave a little courtesy smile. As Naruto drew the attention back to him. Without help, most of the times, things seems impossible. If I had sent one of you in there is no possible way that you would have survived or even made it anywhere close to that flag. However, you came together and you fought for one another. And even in the face of termination, you still refuse to give up one another. And that is what is known as teamwork and respect amongst your fellow comrades. And that is what I wanted to see. In order for a team to work together, members have to trust one another, to believe in one another, to know that even if your back is turned, you can put your life in your comrade's hand. Naruto said, and today, all of you show me that you're capable of doing that. So from this moment on, we are Team 7, he said to them. They were so happy to hear that. Naruto dismissed them for the day, as they've been through enough. After all, they've been in there for a couple of days now. He's already spoke to soccer appearance. He's already spoke to Mikoto as well, so there was nothing to worry about. However, Mito came to speak with him at the end. She wanted to know something. You said something when you were talking about my purpose and everything, she said. Are you the one? Naruto tilted his head looking at her. I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about. For a majority of my life, someone has been looking after me. I've never seen this person, but they taught me the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Well, I say that because they gave me the scroll. And when you were talking, you said something about that. Even if you saw me perform it in the forest, you shouldn't have known how angry I got. And the fact that I was able to get it in one day. I never told anyone that. You're him, right? The one that has been looking after me. Giving me stuff. Wishing me a happy birthday, she said. It's you, isn't it? As Naruto looked at her, not saying anything for a while, as she waited for his response. Yes, it's me, he said. Mito felt so happy to think that the person that she come to trust the most without even knowing them was actually going to be her sensei. But she had one question that she's been dying to ask. Why? Please. Why have you been doing all of this? Naruto turned his gaze. I have my reason, he said. More than just one, but I think one of them is something that you would like to know. Because it will give you answers to questions that you have not been able to answer. However, I can't tell you now. You have to make Chunin first. Why? Because it's a secret, said Naruto. And once you do, I'll tell you what I know. Everything. So that means you're gonna have to work a lot harder if you wish to know what I do know and why I do what I do. Mito got a look of pure determination in her eyes. Fine, she said. You'll see, she said to him. I'll become Chunin in no time, and you tell me why you do everything. You tell me all the secrets, she said to him. Fine, I promise, he said to her. On that day she went home, feeling happier than she's ever been before. As Naruto watched her leave, left alone, Naruto felt a presence. He started to walk back towards the entrance of the forest. As he came to a stop, seated in a tree, relaxing was him. After these years of complete silence, he was back. As usual, shrouded in the darkness, his head covered by a hood, his face a secret. So, you've gone ahead and found yourself 3 little kids. Huh. Hope you don't ruin their life. I mean, come on. Who made you a teacher? You're a monster. Is that it? After these years you've come back to tell me that I'm going to be a bad teacher, said Naruto. You're probably wondering where I've been all these years. I've been busy, doing a lot, thinking of ways to ruin your life mostly. Is that so? And what exactly have you come up with, said Naruto. Oh, a whole lot of ways. But now knowing that you're a teacher, I wonder if I should target your little children. Perhaps snap them off, one by one, in front of your eyes. I suppose that would bring you a lot of pain and suffering. Naruto started to chuckle. Huh? What's so funny? Said Naruto, you've seen the things I've done. After all, you have to be someone from my past. I have to give it to you, your ability is rather extraordinary. Even now as you stand there right in front of me, my senses are telling me that you're there. But I can tell that whatever you're doing is some sort of projection. You're not really here, are you? Because face to face with me, with your true self, would result in one thing: your utter demise. And as I was saying, you've seen the things I've done. You probably witnessed one or two of them. You've seen how far I'm willing to go for the people I care about. And these children are my now students. You've spent the last couple of years tormenting me, bothering me, not a single other soul, despite knowing those who are close to me. And I think I have an idea on why. Oh? And why is that, Mr. Smarty Pants? It's simple. You know the depths I would go. How far I would travel in the depths of darkness. What I would do to you if you ever touch anyone I care about. Especially those children. You know the monster I would become. That is why you haven't hurt anyone that I've socialized myself with. So even as you talk, you're afraid to face me. But that doesn't matter. I've bested you before. Your mental games are not going to work this time. Mental games? I suppose that is what you will call them, he said, jumping down off the tree. However, think of me as the run-of-the-mill, normal individual is a very, very bad idea. Because Naruto felt a hand on his shoulder. What you believe is not exactly what is going on. Now that surprised Naruto that he touched him. Naruto did not move because he knew the moment he did, as the person was now standing in front of him once again. As I said, I'm here to make you suffer. When you reach the point of me standing over you and you begging me to end your life, that is when I will kill you. That is when I'll finally be free of everything you've done to me. Because I can finally rest after that. But know this. You've come across many in the past. You've gone up against many. But there is no one like me. And there will never be anyone like me. Because you see, I am your present, your past, your future. And I will ensure that the remaining years of your life will be nothing but torture. After all you've done, you should know that you deserve it. Naruto was getting pissed off, but he kept his anger in check. He did not lash out and move, he simply allowed this person to talk, wanting to know as much as he possibly could. Tell you what, I won't go after the kids, because they're innocent in all of this. However, my actions will be swift and very deadly. So be on the lookout for everything. After all, we both know that most people can't be trusted. But keep in mind that I'm watching you. With that, he was gone, like a mirage, like a ghost. Naruto had questioned if he was losing his mind, if there was simply no one there, if his head was playing tricks against him. But it was not. There is no illusion that he could not see through, no hallucination that he could not break. And besides, as Naruto knelt down, the footprints were there. So it was an actual person. But for someone to possess this level of control over mental, twisting and bending of fabric of reality. Just who was this person? Once again they were back. After the quiet years, they've returned. And Naruto was nowhere closer into knowing who it was. Turning his gaze to where the children made their way off. At least they were safe. But he has to find out just who exactly this was. And put an end to this person once and for all. Time skip. A man was seated. His back was turned. He was wearing an orange mask that was covering his face, obscuring his true identity. It had swirling pattern on it. This man was no normal man. It was someone that was lurking within the shadows as well. Someone that was big, a part of a new goal. He had a vested interest of seeing many things play out. And he's already put a lot of his plan in action. He goes by the name Toby. Toby possessed a rather unique ability, which he oftenly used that made him seem like he wasn't even alive, like he was a spirit. So it wasn't common that people snuck up on Toby, but, well, isn't this the little hidey hole? Immediately rising to his feet, clipping his mask on back to his face. Toby turned to be greeted by someone in the shadows. "Who the hell are you?" he questioned. As a person stepped out of the shadows, the hood was on. However, the scary part was, you could not see underneath it. There was simply pure darkness. "My name is not important, but let's just say I've been watching you and observing you. And I think our interests are aligned together. Except, there is someone I want to personally target. But in that same way, I can help you with your goal. As long as you help me kill Naruto Uchiha." But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see the next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm off and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.